start recording. Welcome! Hello!
Hi.
We're live! Hi! I'm SCV20, and this is my channel where we talk about tabletop role-playing games, mostly Pathfinder 2nd Edition, but keep an eye on the channel, because we'll be doing a lot more. Today is our latest PDF book club, where we talk about our favorite well, I guess not really our favorite, just whichever ones we want to talk about. But whatever! Our PDFs that we read together in a little book club. And today it is the Pathfinder Treasury Vault that's out
Who
soon.
doesn't love magic items?
Yeah, magic items. A whole bunch of more items.
Wait, what do you mean? Is it not out yet? You
It's-
got a fancy bit?
Yeah, but only because I'm subscribed. Pretty much everyone who's subscribed got it early. So it's not because I'm a fancy influencer.
So
but
exclusive.
Yeah, Paizo.
Who is she?
Who is she? If Paizo wants to give me advanced copies, though, I won't say no. I mean, I think I'm the cutest Pathfinder little influencer that I know of, so they should send it. So I'm like the hottest. So.
I don't know. Are you cuter than this Purin?
Yeah. No, I'm not at all. But before we get into it, why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
I'm Victory Bell. I'm not playing anyone today.
That's true.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
but I'm in multiple Messy Bees campaigns. I am planning on. I gotta put that on my calendar to work on it. Run my own on your channel for the Humblewood campaign.
I have another one to send you, but continue.
That's it.
It's Wander Home. I've heard so much, and it's like very Humblewood-esque.
Oh man.
It's gotten a lot of like Game of the Year awards.
Gotta go rabbit holes now. Down the rabbit holes.
This suddenly becomes a Wander Home like discussion, which could be cute.
Dragon.
It's supposed to
art their name. Ooh, it's cute. It's cute art.
Yeah,
oh my god,
it looks cute, and I saw it. I'm just like, ooh, and everyone. I think Polygon and stuff were like raving about it, so I was like, ooh.
Oh dear lord.
Yeah, sorry, babes. But Kohani, why don't you go as Victory Bell goes down this rabbit hole?
So, I'm Kohane or Sarah. You might hear me called other things. Who knows what I'm in? Yeah, I'm the newbie that like knows about this stuff but doesn't know about this stuff. So that's what I do. I'm in other campaigns of Brian's as well, and I'll probably be in Victory Bells, and I'll be in everybody's because that's just that's what Messy B does. He just kind of like, hey, it'll be fun, and then the next thing you know, your entire life is dedicated to everything.
It really did happen like that to you, where you just blinked and then your life like just suddenly became, and I think it's great. Like, this is all I've wanted, is for my life to be dedicated to tabletop role-playing games constantly. And now it's too much. But it's too much. I can't. But give me more. But with that being said, we're going to talk about today the Treasury Vault and how many smiles we're going to give it, and kind of go through all the different options that this game gives us. Cursory thoughts on the PDF, on our book, today's book, the Treasure Vault.
It's good for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
you know, I mean, how else are you going to try to introduce 50 million different kinds of weapons and accessories and alchemical things and new crafting things and, you know, all of that. So, of course, you know, and I don't know, I could be mistaken, but I've never heard of this dragon before, you know? So it's fun to just have like, oh, there's this dragon and she's got everything. And she's got all these little lizardy kobolds that, you know, take care of her shit.
Mm-hmm.
So it was cute.
So you like the dragon
Of
and the
course.
kobold.
I love a sassy dragon.
Oh
Especially, you know,
yeah.
female dragons. They're
Oh
so
yeah. I love a girl boss. But it kind of got old for me like at the end. Like it was like they were doing the same like don't touch my stuff and then the kobold going, "Oh." And it was just
Oh, that's. I mean,
yeah.
but it's also like a really dense book, so it'll
Mhm.
get old because you're like, oh my god, I'm only on like um page like 99 of 238, and you're like, oh god, how much of this do I have?
Oh god, so it sounded like you didn't really like it.
No, I liked it. I was just cramming real quick. You
Yeah.
told me cursory, and I could not. So I was like, yeah, this is taking me a lot longer than I expected.
So you chugged every single item.
Not every. Okay, I chugged every single item until I got to spell hearts, and I kind of just stopped there.
Oh wow.
And you know that's like one of the last chapters, but it's still like only page 102.
Yeah, I didn't even do
So
that. I was just kind of like, ooh,
it's
what's that?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, you're the expert. Because even I didn't read. I was just like, I'm just gonna like, ooh, what's that? Ooh, what's that? Just follow my bliss. But
mhm.
so I guess we could just get into the nitty gritty. What were your I'm curious to see what your favorite part of this book was and what you think is like the coolest addition or what your favorite items are. Cause I think this item was already released in an earlier edition and it's kind of lame, but I'm obsessed with hook swords right now. I'm just like
The what?
the hook swords, from like Mortal
Uh
Kombat and
huh.
Crouching Tiger. Like I
Yeah.
just want to hook and I want to put one hook sword on the other hook sword and like swing it like they do
Mhm.
sometimes in kung fu movies.
Mhm. I think that's what I liked about it. Okay, so I
Mm,
mean, the first part was all about like the weapons and the armament, and I'm like, oh,
mm.
I'm not really like a weapons kid. I never really cared about that stuff when we were learning about like medieval times and everything. And definitely at like the Renaissance fair, like I'm like, yeah, whatever, a bunch of swords. These guys are crazy. I don't care.
That's
But
insane to me. But
but
continue.
I when I did get to this section, and they're just like, hey, these are all like of the diverse weapons that you can actually have, and I
Hmm.
mean, it's not like they um really describe it in its combat use. I guess
Hmm.
I guess we're just like, oh, okay, it's a sword, so it'll work as a sword. But I mean, I still liked it because sometimes, like, when I am playing like the big tabletop, I'm like, I kind of want this kind of weapon, and they're like, yeah, we don't have that. Like the chain sword. That's very
Ooh,
like what's
like the
that video game? God dang it! What's this? What is it?
like
It was
the
on Dreamcast. Or not? Yeah, Dreamcast.
Castlevania.
No, no.
Like the
It's
kid
something.
from oh, Ivy from Soul Calibur.
There it is.
You
Soul Calibur.
forgot her
Yeah.
name. Oh my
I
gosh,
totally
I'm
did.
so
But
sorry,
yeah, I'm like, oh,
Ivy.
I want a chainsaw, and they're like, oh, there's nothing really like that. I'm like, okay, well, can we make it? I mean, just like combine a whip and a sword, I
Yeah.
guess.
Hell yeah.
Well, because even like the one that I have in Sam's campaign, that one technically doesn't exist. And I think that's why I got that other sword.
What do you
Um,
mean?
my original weapon for can't remember her name. It was called a
A switch scythe?
A switch scythe, yeah,
Mhm.
where it goes between a sickle, a scythe, and like other things like that.
Mhm.
And I didn't think it actually existed. I think that was something we just came up with.
Oh no, it existed.
Oh, okay.
Oh
I don't know.
yeah, it's in the
Um,
Pathfinder. But yeah.
yeah, I'm kind of the same as Victory Bell. I just kind of it was like, oh yeah, these are kind of cool. Okay, cool. I was
Yeah.
more interested in the rounds. Like
Oh.
once you got to like the alchemical stuff
Mhm.
and the rounds
Mhm.
that you could make for
Mhm.
range weapons, either, bullets, arrows and all that kind of fun stuff, that did all that fun kind of damage that way. That to me was more interesting than the swords.
Wow.
Like the swords
Mhm.
themselves were like, yeah, they're swords, whatever.
Yeah. But
How
I mean,
hard do they hit? Yay, great. So,
No, they all have different like
yeah.
things to them. They all have
That
different
that
stats. Like with the hook, you could trip with them, and you could disarm with them. And if you have two of
yeah.
them, they're better together. Like they all have different like weapon traits. You didn't think that was cool?
I
Oh.
mean,
I do like some of like the specific weapons, like when they get into like beast armaments and like skeletal.
Oh.
Like I
Oh
was like, oh,
yeah.
this is perfect. This is like Monster Hunter. So now all I want to
Mm-hmm.
do is just like farm monsters and make these weapons, and that's cool. Like
mhm.
I mean, they talk a little bit about like crafting um
Mm-hmm.
in a bit. So I mean, this is perfect for my Monster Hunter kind of loot all bodies kind of.
Ooh.
Yeah, because I
She
always
wants
have
to
a
be a
thirst for that.
monster hunter.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I see upcoming next character concepts.
Yeah. So I mean that was good in the weapons part.
Well, tell me a bit more about that because the ammo is something that I really didn't like focus on. Like I was more interested in the foods and like some of
Uh-huh.
Oh
the
yeah, the food.
Yeah,
permanent
I
stuff.
The
think
food was fun.
alchemy really started picking up stuff. So when we go to alchemy
Yeah.
unleashed, that chapter,
Uh, the alchemical ammunitions.
which is the
Oh
first
yeah,
part of that chapter.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what was the highlights here?
The big highlight for me was the life shot, because
Uh-huh.
my one character, she has her blow dart gun, and I'm like, I
Mhm.
could just imagine I blow one dart and it's like the ooze ammunition, and they get all poisoned, and then my friend needs something, so then I spit out a life shot at them. I'm like,
Mhm.
that's all I was thinking about. Is just
Just.
using it in game would just be fun.
Mhm.
Although it takes, I'd have to like reload it and then do the, but still, it would be fun to imagine in your head that that's what you get to do.
Oh hell yeah! Oh hell yeah! Maybe dip into like a gunslinger so you could get that like
hmm
reload ability. Um, yeah. What else was like a standout?
Definitely the food.
The
Mhm.
food. I
Yeah.
love the food. Like every single one, I'm
Oh.
just like hell yeah, hell yeah. And I hope they come up with like an archetype or something that's like, because they have a poisoner and they have an herbalist, but they need to come up with like a culinary expert
And I
archetype.
always take brewing and culinary feats and the other like game, and then I can't do anything about it. No one really wants to do anything.
Yes.
Like, and I try to like force my in that I guess the dungeon master, that one, the DM. Like I'm just like, hey, I'm packed of the tome and I have a spell book, but can I like make this into a recipe book instead? And like all my ritual spells are really like recipes of like
Mm.
culinary foods. And they're like,
hmm
stop trying to play your cooking fantasies. Like,
Why not?
No! Why
I'm like,
not?
why?
Pathfinder says, why not?
I want fighting food ones. And so there is a tome. There is a tome that is a cookbook here.
Dead
Which
ass.
so amazing, yeah. There's also like a tome that's like a pop-up book, and now I'm like, oh,
I love the pop-up book and how you could
uh-huh,
transform an illusion into like a pop-up
yeah.
book. That was slay.
I think the grimoires are almost one of the best parts too. Like there's that one. There's the one where you can like summon origami. You're a summoner, but they're all origami creatures, and I'm like, oh my god.
They stole that from our Strength of Thousands campaign.
I think they did.
I think they did. And Paizo, you have some answering to do because Paige the Spellskine has something to say. I've got something to say. Hell yeah. Yeah, I agree. I really like those parts as well, and
but yeah, doing the whole cooking feat or being like a craft, I really enjoy that part of the, I guess, feat trees in which, you know, if you choose to be a chef or whatever or crafting in some way,
you can really find it.
Yeah,
like find a niche in the crafting and make it like, and that's why I love Pathfinder so much, is that everyone's character is a little snowflake, you know, like everyone's so different and specific. So I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I like the furry cocktail. You know, that was very much what Kim would do for her kind of alchemical brews, when it's just various cocktails making various effects.
Yeah.
There was a lot of fun, like alcoholic stuff.
Picking brewer proficiencies, that would be very fun.
Or
I enjoyed the bubblegum. That's fun.
The cracking bubblegum. This hanging gun
it was
cracks
very,
and pop.
yeah, it was very bubblegum pop and princessy.
What does it do?
Disney teenager. It makes you can like pop your bubble and make a sonic boom.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, that's fucking dope.
Oh, and a lot of like the armors, the ones that I really liked were like the leaf armors. But like, I don't know. Everybody's really into Quaquaval, that new Pokemon. That's just a samba dancer. And I really just want to like flavor it into kind of a samba outfit.
Ooh.
Just scantily clad and
Now I'm gonna kill your character. So
there's a coffee, Insight Coffee.
Autumn's Embrace.
Yes, that's the one.
That was the one that was really cool, where it changes colors for Anya, and like I think it said it falls off too, right? Something like that.
Yeah, and I like Salvatore's friend. It's just like laxative chocolate. I'm just like, oh,
that
very brown comedy, and I'm like, okay, I'm into that.
Some of these are just so fun to like, just, you know, have in your inventory randomly, and you're just like, here you go.
And that, I think that's the key to like just a really good item or magical item. It just, I don't mind them being so specific and niche because they're just so interesting, and like the shenanigans that you guys can come up with like these items, like like everyone wants to give someone diarrhea. Everyone. That's like a common like Disney Channel movie trope. Like, oh, and then everyone's like, "Are you okay?" I'm just like, "Yeah, I just excuse me," and then it's just a brown. They're just painting everywhere. Did you guys know that was a phrase? Like, if you say he paints, it means like when you're pounding a gentleman and like poop comes out. It's now gay slang. No. If someone's a painter.
Oh my god! They're only using that. Not 2 rounds, huh?
Yeah.
Some words.
Yeah, it's a 3-round action. I'm sorry. I was holding that. I was carrying that, and you needed someone else to carry that with me. Because I found that on Twitter.
Random knowledge that I don't need.
Yeah, welcome to the Messy B20 channel.
When we get down to like the poisons, I really like their descriptors. So I mean, it's very cool in a medical science way if you can be like, oh yeah, like you get like a tingling sensation and you have a little bit of fever and you become nauseous and you start vomiting, and that's all you give for like what's occurring to you. And I mean, in that sense, if you have enough like knowledge of all the poisons in the book, you'd be like, okay, well, it could be like I'm poisoned by this mutagen or this ooze. And it's kind of like figuring out like what the diagnosis is, and how to treat yourself,
Mhm.
which is very nice. Because I want to do like a D&D MD kind of campaign where it's just a bunch of like
Doctors?
yeah, well,
Ah!
I tried to do it for one campaign, and I was like, "Oh yeah, so you like fell down and you can't move this part of your arm. What bone did you break?" And and everyone would just be like, "Oh no, I just can't like cure wounds." And I'm like, "Shut the fuck up! Just tell me how you would cure it. How would you treat this person in the real world?" Like,
I love. I don't know. But you're the only doctor in the group. You're the only one. So you would just be sitting there being like, no.
I could be your sassy secretary. That's what I do. I know all the knowledge, but don't actually want to get messy.
mhm. But I don't know. So it's really nice to use like the descriptor so that you can kind of like paint like a picture, but not give them like the full answer of what they need to do to kind of fix the problem.
Some of
Is
these I already have, like some of these item ones and stuff I already have for Maya. Like I make those on the regular. I'm like, oh yeah, I do that spear frog poison all the time. But some of these other ones, I'm like, I would like these.
And I think it's kind of like compiled a lot because when they sometimes release items and spells as part of adventure paths, but then if you don't have that specific adventure path, then you don't. But it's all on Nethys. Yeah, like we get it from like Foundry and stuff, but everyone else or people who play only using like paper don't have it.
uh-huh.
Um, are you guys happy that magical tattoos now have more
Actual
options?
tattoos? Yeah.
Instead of like 5 that are like level 12.
Yeah.
The flower ones, those were really cool. How they
Mm-hmm.
broke them all
Uh-huh.
down in the different ones that you could have. There was another thing too.
And I mean, you can like apparently there are feats for being a tattoo artist, so that's really nice too. Because I don't know, in the other game, it's just like, oh yeah, we have tattoos, magic tattoos, and you're like, you can just buy them, and it's like, so it's just a spell scroll, but on your body. Okay, whatever, I don't care. Can't really
Yeah.
do anything with it.
And then it disappears after you use
Yeah.
it. But these are perm. These are perm and they're just cool.
Mhm.
Like all these little extra little trinkets and baubles and fulus. You guys need to get into fulus.
I did not
What
understand that. Are
are
they
Fulus just like talismans? Like,
Talismans,
okay?
fulus, like Sailor Mars throwing her little like shrine thing
uh-huh.
and going ah, like that's kind of like the aesthetic.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And so these are like just
Where
trinkets
does
that
the
you can.
Fulu come from?
I think I
What is
don't
that
know.
culture? Fulus.
While you're looking that up, I found out what I was looking for. It was under the alchemical tools, and it was the colorful coatings
Ooh,
and
what's
like
the
all the
Uh-huh.
colorful
different
coating?
things. Where was it? Okay,
Each coding
these
does it
coatings.
something different to like
Yeah,
the land, right?
I don't think it depends on what you coat.
Is
Like
that
the
the one
blue.
where you can make it like sticky, you can make the terrain slippery
Mhm,
or better traction?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
So that would be for a traditional painter alchemist.
They've got one for like they've got star guns. So if you want to be a
Mhm.
gunslinger, that's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, some of the items have like really cool lore descriptions, which is good for like. There's one that's very Hamilton-esque, like, oh, he accidentally like went into a duel and shot his friend, and I was like, oh,
Yeah, the specific items.
uh huh.
Yeah, those are cool.
But good to kind of if you want to do a quick lore one shot, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So let's see what so a lot of things that people keep on talking about on the Reddit is the new crafting rules. Did you read
Mm-hmm.
them?
Heavy.
Not fully, because again I stopped at like spell hearts, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I'm hoping there was the first part of the section where they were saying, oh, they have like crafting requirements where it's like, collect a rock
Mhm.
to make.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like
That's what
the going on an adventure to get crafting materials.
and so that's again the monster hunting in me wants to be like, okay, yeah, I want to go on a side quest if I want this specific thing. Like, tell me what to do, and yeah, I'm gonna go farming.
Oh yeah.
I'm super into that.
So yeah, they kind of like kind of lay out what that would look like for a DM and kind of suggest different story beats for a DM or a GM, I
Mhm.
guess. To like kind of give into that fantasy that you're going like far and wide to kind of not kind of
Mhm.
to make this item. But something that everyone's complaining about on their Reddit is the crafting alternative rules, which just allows you to craft things quicker if it's below your level. And like there's downtime events that can happen that kind of are like story makers, which I like, and you kind of roll from the
Yeah.
table, which are really, really nice. And you can try to like make things faster, but you may like create a curse on your crafted item, which I found was really fun. So yeah,
Uh
I think these
huh.
new like
Yeah, it
rules
gives you
were
complications.
yeah little complications, and so that will give like little like cool like story beats and stuff.
Uh
People
huh.
say that's underpowered, and I'm just like so. And there, were you fine with like the old one? Like, I really don't get why people are complaining so much about
Yeah, I don't
this.
I'm not understanding why it's not like they made it harder.
Hmm.
And so what about the
I don't know.
downtime? Is it that's bad about it?
I think it's
Yeah.
because it may take longer to make some items, especially if they're above your level. But I'm like, yeah, it would.
That's the way they
And
Yeah, if
say
it's
it.
above
sometimes
your
it
level.
takes
I
long, or
think
they're just like it's not like economically like feasible, like or blah blah blah. I don't know. It's like they say it's not balanced with just earning items. I'm just like, of course it's not. Like you,
I mean, compared to the other one where it was just based off of like the rarity, which I hated because I'm like, okay, so something that's like uncommon would take me a day, but then it takes me like a whole year to do something that's rare, and I'm like, ah,
hmm
that's so
yeah, it
stupid.
was like really
Like,
long. Like crafting shit
yeah,
is just like so long, and it's
and again,
nice to
it's
have.
it's downtime, and it's not like downtime is something that you do every single um day of the campaign.
Yeah, I think it's more like their DMs suck. Really. I think that's
Yeah.
it. They're just like, well,
Hmm.
if your DM just gives you random items, like it's not going to be the same as like randomly getting an item. And I'm just like, yeah, it's not going to be the fucking same. You have to craft it. Like it's different from walking down the street, like picking up an item. Like I don't really get the argument. Or they're like, if you're in a quick campaign, you won't have time to craft. Like if you're like constantly on a rush to like save like a city or something. I'm like, how is that any different? I don't know. I think their
Well,
DMs
and
just
also, if that's the campaign that you're running, why would you pick that kind of thing to do then?
Yeah, it sounds like your
I mean,
DM sucks. Like,
if you're literally doing a quick campaign where you're going to be done in a one shot, why
mhm.
would you want anything that requires crafting? Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you just get yourself a sword and, be a warrior or something like that? Or get your
Mhm.
spell books and, lay it out from the beginning. Crafting is for the fun of it. Like
Yeah.
to build your armory as you're
Mhm.
going in a longer campaign.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So if you
You're
want to think
investing in
about it
that kind
for
of
a short
character's
campaign,
actual like day-to-day slice of life.
Mhm.
it's like even
Yeah.
like the Aeons one that I just joined with my little goblin. Like that's just part of her like thing.
Oh
She just likes
yeah,
to make shit.
and we just have custom made waffle irons for every single member of that party, and it's just
Oh,
like,
you can make some companion waffles.
yeah, it's the companion waffles. Um, so I think that most of Reddit just needs to calm down, like
Yeah,
calm down and like talk to their DM, because it
yeah.
seems
I
like a
mean,
DM issue. Like,
true. Because if literally if what it is if you're trying to craft something that you shouldn't have, which I'm guessing is what people are wanting.
or they want
Why
it
are
to
you
be.
doing it for something quicker?
Mm,
Why don't you build it for your longer campaigns? Like say on day 1 you start building the sword of, the sword of Aeons, and all that
mm,
kind of stuff, and you work on it literally every single downtime you have.
mm-hmm. But
I
their
agree.
DM might not be into downtime like I am. Like some of them are like, a lot of people don't like a downtime moment, and I'm just like, let's get crafted, let's get into the subsystems. Let's get real nerdy. But I don't know. Sometimes the Reddit, I don't know. Uh, Furthermore, I love the nature crafting. I don't know if Sarah, you're gonna have a delight with this nature crafting shit because they have
Yeah,
rules for growing stuff.
I know. I was like, ooh, what can I grow?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And gardens of wonder. You bet a McGimpia is gonna have a garden of wonder. Like they kind
Yeah.
of have to. So this is all. This book is really just a huge present for both of your characters. It really is.
True.
Since I somehow just decided you will be the crafting characters, I will suggest those. But those are great classes, so I'm a little jealous. Um, and then rounding this book off, something I don't like is that Pathfinder introduces new things
The,
that they're never going to touch again. They're
the
never.
archetype stuff.
Yeah, these
Yeah.
item based archetypes. Let me tell you, there will never be another artifact archetype printed. They will never make this because they've done this with like a gunslinger and you have the spell shot, and they made this new like class archetype, which is the most confusing thing ever. Because you have archetypes, archetype dedications, and then you have a class archetype, which is only for the gunslinger at this point, which makes it so you can cast spells through your gun, which I guess is just a mage's. I don't know how it makes any sense. I don't know whose idea it was, but that's what they're doing over there, I guess. That's what the girls are doing. But
Yeah.
these item archetypes or artifact archetypes, they'll never make another one ever again. And I'm just like, why would you even? No one's ever going to use this very specific item archetype. And the
The
ones they
furries will. All the furries are gonna pick this bear archetype.
they would just pick a druid. They would just pick a druid. Why would they ever pick either? They only made two. They only made two of these artifact archetypes, and it's literally ice person, bear person. Be a
It doesn't really.
beastkin.
I am really into Christmas. Leave me alone, okay?
You have so many options already for both of these things, and they're never gonna make another one. They made a class already about like artifacts and like having items that like change you. That's a thaumaturge. Why would they make? I just found this wild. I didn't understand. I don't hate like pop off, but like it's just another little segment in Nethys and another little kernel that we are gonna have to tell new people about. And be like, what's this artifact archetype? And be like, well, this is what it is. Yeah, I was kind of annoyed by it. Everything else was cool. Blighted boons. I hope they make more. I really do. They hope they make more of those. I think these are cool. But it's kind of shitty that like they make you die though, and so I would be worried as a DM.
Yeah, my thought was, is it like
They're just cursed, in
Yeah.
a way. It's fun. It's fun,
Yeah,
actually.
it's fun.
So you
Sometimes it
two are
causes you problems.
saying if you got an Elder Seed or a Heart Blood Ring, you'd be chill with it, and that you're gonna die at.
It'll be very interesting in terms of the character development, and I mean, I
Yeah.
hope you'll have to come to terms with dying and everything, and
Okay.
but with this great power comes great.
Oh God. Okay.
I also like cursing intelligent items are fun.
Oh yeah.
The thing about the boons though is they do have the purging part of it, so I don't know. It depends on what kind of game you're trying to get out there,
It depends on
what
the
story
vibe
you're trying to tell.
Yeah, because I was kind of like, ooh, I don't know about this, but I guess in some groups, is there anything you guys wish were here? Because I have a big one that I wish were here. As you guys think, I'm gonna just say it. I wish there were gadgets. I wish there were gadgets. There's no gadgets. There's no gadgets. There's none. None for your little inventor to make. No more than from what Guns and Gears did. And I am.
Oh, okay.
That's what. And then they gave us archetype, artifact archetypes. I'm just like, give me a gadget. Give me TiVo. Like.
Well, they gave a lot of accessibility things.
Oh!
That's cool.
Oh, yes! Thank you for bringing that up. I love that they're like new assistive items. And like these are new assistive companions. And the first one they listed was the ooze chair. And I'm just like,
that's what I was thinking of, yeah.
You better fucking work. Like, you better burst open those doors and tell us about this ooze chair, mama, because it was giving. It was giving. The ooze chair was so sick. Like,
but yeah, I do agree though. There needed to be more things like that were, fun. Fun little things that you put together.
Yeah, a little crafty.
I mean,
like for the inventor.
How many of the videos do we watch of all of the must buy this at Amazon?
Yeah.
You watch must buy item, must talk to your local crafter.
Yeah. They needed more inventor gadget craftables. And that's my major complaint with this book. But otherwise, I thought it was cool. But okay. We get to the final part, unless you guys have anything else you want to say about this book. Any other?
There's a lot of instruments that are really cool. So good for my bard. Because there's not a lot of like bard magic items.
What bards do you have?
Or bardic instruments. Well, in D&D.
Oh,
or like the bardic, there's like.
They're doing shit in D&D.
Yeah, and so, and they're all like based off of like level, I think, and so or rarity. And so it's all like, okay, well, clearly you can only have like 2 of the magical instruments for most people.
Swap them
most
out.
campaigns.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one has like the bargainer's instruments. There's like a lyre. There's ocarina of wind.
Oh, where did they get
Um,
that
There
idea
was
from?
so that's fun. A
bargainer's
lot of bard
instrument,
stuff.
like a violin. I thought that was.
Yeah, there's a violin that
Mhm.
can calm the storms, I think.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that makes me want to be a bard so badly. Ah! So, how many smiles would you give this book, and would you recommend buying it?
Of 5?
Out of 5. Out of 5 smiles. Out of 5 messy, messy smiles. Because I gotta put in the brand here.
mm,
Probably 3.
oof.
3 out of 5.
Mhm.
I'd actually go with 4.
Wow. Okay,
So
explain
Okay.
your ratings.
So, in the sense of the big hubbub with monetization, um, you know, the idea of like campaign books versus kind of like source material books or for players versus just for DMs, this is so much better. So, I mean, they're going to make a lot more money for kind of if players are like, oh, I just want to know about magic items, and
Mhm.
so that I can figure out what I want in my character and like, talk to my DM about. Um, and so, I mean, it's just going to be more impactful for more people to buy. And suggesting, and so in terms of me suggesting other people to buy it, yeah, like this is player options for y'all.
Mhm.
And again, I'll give it an extra rating because I enjoy the whole. Uh, this is kind of what I always want in my D&D or in my adventure campaigns is really just to make stuff and craft things out of all the random loot that I get
Mhm.
my in my RPGs. So I'm super happy about crafting, more crafting options.
Hell yeah. Kohani.
Now that I think about it, I think Victor's right. I think probably it would be more of a
Ooh.
4 because I was thinking
This is like a
initially.
making the cut moment. Wow.
So I was initially thinking, well, if you have a crafter, if you have, an alchemist and all that kind of stuff, like me, um, then yeah, it's very valuable. Because it's, going to be something that you would have to really dig for on, people's like just putting in stuff on different wikis and all that kind of stuff to see if it's even out there. But here it's all collected into one. So in that respect, yeah, it's definitely worth it for that. If you're more of the warrior class though, where you're just a tank and you're just I don't know if it's really going to be that much for you. Like there's stuff there, but honestly, you could probably ask somebody before having to purchase this, if you know what I mean. Like, oh, do you think there could be some kind of armor that's kind of like, I don't know, to work with my my aquatic stuff? Oh yeah, I saw in this thing there was this coral armor. Cool, I'll go with coral armor, and then that's all they ever need to know. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Okay. I think I would give it 3 star.
Mhm.
I okay. Okay, 4 stars, but I wouldn't recommend buying it. And here, so when I'm thinking about like buying like a book and sniffing it for that new book smell, I am like, how many times am I gonna flip through this? How many times am I gonna enjoy to look through it and just let my mind like roam or like because Pathfinder has so many great free options to get this information that I never really look at the physical books. I usually just go on Nethys and I search for it and I filter to get things really quickly. And then I can put in my note taking app. I use Obsidian. And then I can pull it super easily and like allow my mind to move like at 1,000,000 miles per hour. And then so when I'm thinking about like trying to look for a specific item, like I wouldn't use like the book format. I wouldn't use like the PDF. I would use like a database of some sort.
Mhm. Well, I mean, so I didn't think that they didn't have a way to monetize um, online content. I think the idea with like Beyond is that the way they monetize is that like if you want access to this certain spell that's in the source book, you have to
Mm-hmm.
buy the online version of it. I thought that was the same thing as Pathfinder in
Oh
terms of their
no,
like microtransactions. So I mean,
that's
in
all
a
free,
sense,
baby. This is all. It's all
in a,
Nasser. It's all on Nethys.
thank you, Pathfinder, for being
Yeah.
accessible. But
Mm.
I mean, I don't get mad. I'm not really mad at
Oh no,
Block
man.
T for the whole aspect of making microtransactions and trying to monetize on their part
Mm-hmm. Oh,
of the whole debacle that just happened. Because I don't know. I honestly think that's kind of part of life at this point, microtransactions and everything. You know, it's not like
oh,
they're
but
not the first ones to do it.
no, it was more than that. It was
Oh
about
well,
third
yeah,
part,
yeah.
but like it's already such a pain with D&D Beyond because you would have to buy the physical book and it wouldn't allow you to get any of the material on D&D Beyond, so you would have to buy it again on D&D Beyond. And then
Well,
it
so I
wouldn't
mean,
transfer over to Roll20, so you would have to buy it again on like
yeah.
Roll20.
But
That's
that's
the
because they're just
shit.
trying to make their own. I mean, their idea is to make their own ecosystem, and so again, they're not the first ones to do that. That's what like Apple does in terms of making their own ecosystem for all
And I
their
fucking
like.
hate them.
It's kind
You
of
heard it here first.
that's kind of
Besties,
that's the
sound off
trend.
in
That's
the
the trend.
chat.
But that's the trend, and so like, I mean, I don't buy physical books. So you're right. I mean, if you're saying, hey, would I buy a physical copy? No, not
Or
really.
a
I don't really
PDF.
buy. But I mean, if it was a PDF, like if Pathfinder had like PDFs, I'd still buy them. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're only $15.
I think
And there's a Humble Bundle going on right now, actually.
both
Oh.
of both either way, either going PDF or going physical book. I think it's literally what those two things are, which is a visual. So for me, I like the pictures and I retain things in my head better than words. So if I see like when we were talking about the chair and stuff and the gadgets and things, I was like, I know on one of these pages there was this chair and it had the things and it was for inventors. But that's just the way my brain works. Other people's brains put it together differently. So I think in the aspect of the old fashioned wanting to see things and get your mind working that way, the books and the PDFs are going to sell
Yeah.
regardless. And then there's collectors
Mhm.
too.
Oh, yeah. But I'm saying, is this book going to give you that? Because with Impossible Lands,
Hmm.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I wish I bought the physical copy of the book, but I only got the PDF. Like, I could look at that book and I would actually like have it as a coffee table book. Like that is how pretty it was and how
Hmm.
interesting it like. This is like really like meat and potatoes, like game mechanics stuff that I would just want in like a database. And I
Oh,
bought the
okay.
PDF and stuff because I'm trying to influence and I do like supporting them. Um, but that's my opinion. So I guess that's the crux of the issue. The crux of the smiles question at hand.
I think like with a lot of these things, it's really how much you want it, and what your play style is. Like I was saying earlier, if you have a tank that just kind of wants a new set of armor, no, you're not going to want to buy this book. You're going to go look it up and find something. But if you are trying to build an alchemist that's going to be a badass, that's going to tattoo
Mm-hmm.
people, and they're going to cook on the side, and they're going to do this and this and this book is like built for you. Like it has everything. So spending the 15 or the, I forget how much the physical books are, 30 something, I think.
Oh.
I don't remember. um it's your money, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, but I mean, they do give a lot of options for your martial type and weapon specialist. I mean, the first,
Mm-hmm.
I think we just don't care about it and so we skipped that first part. But that first part was pretty lengthy in
True.
terms
Oh
of all of
yeah.
these armaments.
That's why I was
And
shook when you guys said that. Like I was like,
yeah,
that's the coolest part for me.
and they talk about
Frying
runes and
pans.
everything.
Yeah.
And uh-huh. I mean, the black hole armor is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in terms of like compared to D&D, uh, like Brian and SEB said, like Pathfinder does a lot better in kind of scaling the martial classes compared to the magic users, pretty evenly for a bit, you know. Um, and so, same way, so there's lots of magic items for martial classes that they can also kind of make use of.
Mm-hmm. Instead of just like hitting attack.
Uh-huh.
Like
Yeah, so instead of like magic users being like, oh look, we have like 500 wands, and there's only like a lance of lightning for martial users,
mhm.
and
Yeah.
so there's a lot more options here. So I mean, I guess in comparison to the other one, even if I played a martial class, I'd be more into this book than a magic book from D&D.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we got 2 buys and one
I,
good
I, I mean,
content.
I'm in the digital copy.
We got
Um,
two. We got
you
one
buy
digital.
it.
We got one digital copy. We got Kohani. Were you the physical?
It's a personal choice.
What's
If
your personal choice?
I'm fine with the PDF. I don't need the physical book. I don't think that I would ever reference it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's going to be uh kind of like an offshoot of like, oh, there was that one thing, and then, you know, pull it up that way. But even like you said, yeah, I could go to Nevis and look for it there, filter it out for potions and, and all that kind of stuff, and level, and okay, now yeah, that's the one I want. Plug it in, get using it. So
There's no
I'm
pictures on Netflix.
true.
There is no
Um,
picture. Yeah.
I'm gonna stick with it. It's a personal choice.
Yeah.
If you like the pictures, the story of it, the kind of like seeing it, how it works, and all that kind of stuff, and having that I say to say archaic, but archaic feel of
Mm-hmm.
go for it. More power to you. If it's not, if you're happy with the set you've got and you don't need anything new, it's not really worth it for you. But then again, if you were going to get into being a DM, this might be something that you really do want.
Mm-hmm.
This could be something for loot. This could be something for, um, you know, mostly for loot.
Yeah, loot.
What people would
It's
find
loot.
and stuff like that. So, personal choice. Personal choice.
All right, well, there you have it, y'all. That's our little review of the Treasure Vault. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe what you think about it and what your favorite item is, and if you agree that there should have been fucking gadgets. Otherwise, make sure you be on the lookout on the channel. I know we've been a little like quiet on the streams lately. I've been sick and it's been wild. It's been wild. So be on the lookout for that. And I guess stay messy. Ooh. Ooh, maybe that ooh. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna say goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.